we're effectively under race rules now. Even though they're behind the safety car, he has not overtaken anybody. He stayed down at the back. So he had qualified in 6th place, Mark Shaw. So it's sort of something we will have to keep a little bit of an eye on when we... there he is, number 99, down towards the back. He's not actually the last car, but he is down at the back at the moment.
That's a really big shame for Mark having to start, because that car did such a good job in qualifying to try and make its way and fight. They're much more competitive back in the day anyway. The Cooper Climaxes, the BRM, the Maserati that we saw earlier on as well. So really unfortunate for him. He'll be hoping, desperately hoping, that we do get some racing laps. There's still quite a lot of standing water, almost down the straight there out of Ford Water. You can see the cars will then come into St Mary's. There's only really, it's going to be difficult to get 2-3 cars side by side, which we often get to see here at Revival. There's a lot of standing water. But there they go through St Mary's now, which doesn't look too bad. A little bit of standing water on the exit, certainly a large puddle actually. They'll then bleed up the hill, then onto a flat approach where the safety car is at the moment, into Lavant Corner. And there is our beautiful drone shot that we've been having all weekend. Great shots from our drone driver, our drone flyer, pilot.
Indeed, yes. No, doing a lovely job and getting some great images from that area. But it's good to see, as you say, that the track is definitely not as deep in the water as it was early on. Now there is the four-wheel drive Formula 1 car. That's a rather rare thing, isn't it? The front engine four-wheel drive machine, the Ferguson, the four-wheel drive Ferguson. They started work on it in the late 1940s, but it was a bit later on that it actually appeared. And it was debuted in 1961 at Silverstone, driven by Jack Fairman. So we'll see what it can do. The lights are clear on the safety car. We are going to get back into racing. Hooray! We've had a bit of a delay. Thank you for staying with us and enjoying what we've been showing here at Goodwood, but we are ready to go racing now. And the safety car is out of the way. William Nuttall, Andy Willis and John Spears, the top three, and they all need to be nice and close to each other, we hope, before they get underway. But they'll be full on the throttle, I'm sure, on the exit of the chicane. The race is underway, and Will Nuttall under pressure from Andy Willis, but Will actually gets away very quickly. And if anything, Andy Willis might have got a bit of wheel spin, because he's not got away particularly well. And of course, they've got to be a bit cautious here, Alice, to know how much they can go to full throttle with these 2.5-litre Formula 1 engines.
Oh yeah, that is 100% right. Is it slightly further down the order, a few drivers having a look at the inside, but it's all fairly clean as expected. Now keep an eye on the 34 Maserati. We spoke to John Spears, or Ed did, down in the assembly area. The front engines is more predictable in these tricky conditions. So John said he's going to take his time, he's going to enjoy and keep safe, but he's creeping up, he's dropped back a little bit now through St Mary's, coming into Lavant Corner now. He has, well actually, so we're through St Mary's now. We've got to fight for the lead already, Ben.
Yeah, look at this down the inside. Willis makes a move down the inside, but round the outside it maybe there's a little more grip, and Will Nuttall just held on to the lead there. That was nice to see. The Cooper, number 4, versus the BRM, number 2. Classic cars from the period, no doubt about it. They were some of the later cars into the 1960s as this sort of brand of Formula 1 car started to change. Yeah, kicking up the water a little bit more, but these two are still fighting hard at the moment. Will Nuttall in that Cooper T53 that Jack Brabham won the second title, the World Championship, 2 years in a row, and it was in that second year that he won it in a Cooper T53. And it's working very well here at the moment at Goodwood, but Andy Willis is not giving up, is he?
No, he's having a look all over. He's going to go for a dive down the inside of Woodcote. That's brave. Does he get it stopped? Yes, he does. Will he have the traction on the exit? Nuttall's going to get the cut back. They're going to be side by side, heading down into the chicane. William has a little check over his left-hand shoulder and through nicely. This is going to allow the Maserati that made a mistake on the exit of Lavant Corner to draft all the way back up. You can see, though, the Maserati struggling for traction on the exit.
Definitely, yeah. Wheel spin, as you saw. John Spears was able to correct that. That's a lovely battle going on between these two. The Cooper versus the BRM. The BRM is back up the inside once again, and Will Nuttall is on the outside. That inside line is working well. Andy Willis, is he going to retake it? No, he's not, because that outside line working perfectly for Will Nuttall. He's found a bit more grit there once again, and he's maintained the lead. And if anything, as you say, John Spears has got a little closer in the Maserati 250F, the big front engine machine, the driver sitting that much higher, overlooking the engine. But these are beautifully balanced Formula One cars from the mid-1950s. As I mentioned, Juan Manuel Fangio delivering so much. The track may be getting a bit drier in a few places. Actually, that might be putting him under some more pressure from Charlie Martin behind in another of the Cooper T53s. That's car number 22. So this could be a bit more of a challenge from behind rather than John moving forwards. Yeah,
having to be careful of that puddle on the exit there. Willis actually goes through it. So Willis has a stronger traction, it looks like, coming out of St Mary's, but he's hit the puddle on the way into Lavern, and he's off onto the grass. Does he keep it out the gravel? Just about. He just hit that standing water bend as he went to turn in, and he's sinking now down the order. Big puddle through the grass there. That's probably going to drop him down. Maybe he just might be able to stay in the top 6. So that gives breathing space to Nuttall now in the Cooper Climax. There you can see the Maserati has relieved a little bit of their own pressure from the Martin in the 22 Cooper Climax. But as I say that, the Climax a bit more capable on the brakes going into Woodcote Corner, so we could actually have a good battle for second place here, because it looks like further behind another of our Cooper Climaxes, but this is the T43, the number 43 in the background, which is actually the older model to the Cooper Climax T53 that Nuttall is in, and it looks like that they were just starting to come up, but there actually the number 2 of Willis has not dropped as far back as I expected.
So no change up front at the moment, and Shaw is making good ground at the moment. Mark Shaw, number 99. Remember, he had to drop to the back because the car didn't come out of the assembly area properly, but they managed to fire it back up. He's just about across the line. Let's see where he has got to now as he comes over. He's actually moved up the order into 13th position, so he's done well. He's making good progress. Remember, originally he had qualified in 6th place, but then started effectively from the back of the field, and he is now moving up. Good chance to get into the top 10, but he's got a little bit more work to do in order to make him do that. Next car that he is heading after is the number 62, Thomas Clereth, in the Ferguson, the four-wheel drive Ferguson that I was talking about. That's the next car that he's going to try and get past. And meanwhile, slightly further back, you've got David Wenman in the Aston Martin DBR4. It's lovely to see that Aston Martin. It's a rare car. It's a Formula One car that never effectively did very well. There's another place gained. He's got past the Ferguson. So there's the four-wheel drive Ferguson, and he's managed to nip past it.
He has. Nice brave move down the inside of St Mary's, bleeds it out. Just going back to that Aston Martin, lovely, beautiful car. Would maybe just get a shot of it. There you go. You can just see it coming out of the rear of St Mary's. A total of 4 of those were made. So there's only currently 3 surviving today, and we are so lucky to have one of them racing here at Goodwood Revival.
Yeah, it didn't work for Aston in Formula One because they'd stayed with front-engined, and again, a little bit like the Scarab, this one we're talking about, the American-built one, they just came out a little too late because they would have been good cars if they'd been out a year or 2 earlier. So, still the battle that's going on for what is now second place, effectively, because, of course, we've got Willis trying to catch back up. So Spears is now second. Third place now is Martin. Oh, and off has gone car number 8. That's a shame. Maybe getting back on Malcolm Cook in the Connaught C-Type. That's another very rare machine. Looks as though the car's okay. Don't quite know what happened there.
Looks like maybe just a spin, potentially, Ben.
Yeah, looks like it. Doesn't look as though he's made contact. Very rare, this Connaught C. This was a Connaught that they created sort of just towards the end of Connaught history. Only did, I think, about 1 race in its time. It's really lovely to see it here at Goodwood.
Yeah, it's the last Connaught that was actually built as well. So the Scarab is making its way still further up the order, 12th place at the moment. Our leader, though, is comfortably out in front with a 5.2 second gap. The number 56 has gone round. The Maserati 250F has had a little spin. That looks like that's on the exit of the first corner backwards. Managed to get going now. They were in the top 10, so they'll be dropping much further down the order. We've still got this battle continuing, and it looks like Willis has managed to get past Martin, and he is now chasing down the Maserati of John Spears.
So let's take a look. I think we're looking back at the spin, yes we are, that Brad Baker had in the Maserati. And it's a place that we've seen that before, and there's plenty of space there. If you go to the inside, you can hopefully hook it back and get back on the road. And he's just been passed actually by Shaw. Of course, we've seen Mark Shaw moving up through the order, so that's gained Mark another place in his number 99 Scarab. There, as you mentioned, our race leader quite comfortably, Will Nuttall, who's won this event several times, and it looks like he's very much on target to do it once again. He has set fastest lap. The gap that he had last time around was 5.9 seconds. We'll just get a quick view of how much that gap has gone up as we wait for the second. Oh no, that is second place man, so the gap's going to be even bigger. John Spears has gone off, and that means that I think we'll see Martin move up, Charlie Martin move up, yes, into second place. What a shame for John.
Yeah, and he's kicked the rear out, still trying to get it off. His shape of the head and a shape of the fist at the same time as well. Looks like the exit of the chicane. I wonder if he's just gone in a little bit too hot. The rear's rotated. It's so slippy out there. We had a lot of dry running yesterday, believe it or not. So a lot of rubber went down. These are obviously very old cars, and there will be, of course, dropping oil and fuel onto the circuit. So let's have a little look, Ben.
He may have been tagged, I gather. There's Willis behind him, Andy Willis, who, of course, is trying to get back up the order. Oh, it was a tag. Oh, Willis will be cross with himself for that, because he's an experienced driver and he wouldn't want to have touched the car in front, and actually he puts his hand up, I think. But that was a shame, and I can understand John being a bit upset about that, because he had the line, didn't he?
He did. It was a late attempt to make a pass down into the chicane by Willis, and definitely feel John's frustration, and he has every right to be. So he is back underway. Let's have a little look where he's dropped down to, just having a look, down in 7th, so he's not dropped as far down as I would have thought. So he's fighting back still with some cars in front of him. We can see the
Ferrari, yeah, it's the Ferrari 246. That's Richard Wilson. That was the last of the front-engine Ferraris to ever win a race, the Ferrari 246. So now it's Ferrari versus Maserati. So you've got similar sort of liveries in a way from the great Italian brands. But is John going to be able to gain some more places, do you think?
Well, he's having a look at going down the inside. Sometimes when that frustration, that anger takes over, you actually find some lap time, Ben.
You do, indeed.
And maybe we'll keep an eye on the time to see if that's exactly what's going to happen to John. You see, they're just avoiding that puddle on the exit. Here was the crime scene a lap ago. He's desperately chasing down the number 12.
Right. He's pushing harder. He was almost on the grass.
So hard. He's got the Cooper Climax T53 in front of him now. Out front, though, another one of our Coopers. A 10-second gap to Willis at the moment. Setting personal best. Currently has the fastest lap of 155.512. And we might be coming up to some lapped cars, or already we've started coming up, shall I say, to some lapped cars. So he'll be able to, he's got plenty of breathing space to deal with that. He doesn't have to desperately rush to get past them with 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining.
So we'll keep an eye on Mark Shaw. He's now up into 10th place, so he's got it into the top 10, having started from the back, having had a problem getting out initially, and the Scarab is gaining some good ground, so it's going well. It's a very low front-engine machine, as you can see, so a slight different look to that Maserati and the Ferrari, where they crank the engine over to an angle to lower the weight. Very important, of course, and a part of developing these cars, but he's up against these mid-engine cars that proved to be even faster as we went through this period of learning about the technical aspects of Formula One. It was before the aerodynamics really came in. Drag mattered, but not downforce. That hadn't been thought about too much at this stage in the Formula One world. So there's our race leader, Will Nuttall, still in the Cooper Climax T53 with a gap now of 10 seconds. Having set that fastest lap, he's really in good shape here. I think he's still thoroughly enjoying the race. When you're in a race like this in these conditions. It's so challenging. It doesn't matter. You haven't got someone behind you because it's challenging all the time to get the best out of the car.
Yeah, we've still got quite a lot of spray. We just saw the battle between the Scarab and Gillies in the 71 Cooper Climax, and Gillies was just trying to pull out of the spray going down the back straight, so still able to kick up a lot of spray. Another fastest lap for Nuttall, and he's now dived into the 154s quite comfortably, extending his gap to Willis in the BRM. So you can still see kicking up spray heading into the part of St Mary's shortly. Up the hill. Sun's shining though, Ben.
Yeah, he's doing a great job this year. He had a fantastic performance at Silverstone a few weeks ago in the same car. He started 39th out of 42, and he managed to pass 23 cars on the first lap at Silverstone, apparently. And so he is remarkably talented. He's the son of Ian Nuttall, who created the historic racing team in 1976. So he's grown up with this kind of historic racing. Now, we've got a nice, still little good battle. In fact, he's been passed now, Mark Shaw, hasn't he, by the number 71 car there of Cameron Gillis, who's gone through. They're having quite a good little race between them.
Yeah, he's been promoted outside of the top 10 now, just having a look at the lap times. Coming up behind is the 60s too, the Ferguson that we saw on shot. He passed earlier on, did Shaw, so he's going to become under pressure from the Ferguson.
Yeah, it could be. It looks as though the Scarab is struggling a little bit more than it was earlier. I don't know whether, hopefully the car's still running okay. Mark is in that 11th place at the moment. And of course, running historic cars, there's always going to be a bit more challenge on reliability and aspects. But look at Spears now. So John Spears is definitely putting a little bit more pressure on Rudy Friedrichs. And he hasn't been able to find a way past just yet, as Friedrichs actually is now making a move himself on Eddie Williams, and I think Eddie Williams is not going to be able to protect that place, so he's lost a position. Eddie Williams has lost a place, but Spears is trying to gain a place past both of them at this point. So another Cooper Climax has just been passed, and both Coopers in front of them and managed to find a way through as they fight each other. That's what we've got to watch out for.
Yeah, he's staying out of the spray, having a look, the frustration driving him along. He can get himself certainly promoted. Actually, he might already be looking to get himself up into the top 5. Thinks better of it. He's going to maybe try and get the inside, going through the second part of Madrick's double apexing there. Thinks again, I'm going to save that for another day. They'll now streak down to Ford Water. You can see the puddles on your screen there. Still a lot of standing water on that straight to Ford Water. But no, not quite close enough. Next opportunity, that's if you're brave, is down into St Mary's. They come up the hill, then the flat approach, swing it right. A variety of lines, of course, that they're taking. But
we've got another fight going on. This is all a bit fun as well. This is a bit further down the order, but it's proving all to be a bit tight. This is actually just inside the top 20, yes, and the leader getting a bit boxed in. So Will Nuttall, who is lapping so many cars now, but with this very comfortable advantage of nearly 10 seconds. Interesting, Willis has just done fastest lap, but I gather he's also just gone off, Alice. So Willis has gone off at 11th. And he's back on, but he had to set fastest lap, so we'll hopefully get another view of that in a moment.
Yeah, looking at the time experience, he actually went purple in the first sector, so that's fastest overall of anyone, did Willis, in the BRM, but he's lost about 3 to 4 seconds in the middle sector, so, and then that is where Lavant is placed, but now our race leader coming up behind to lap the number 24, one of our other Maserati 250s that are out circulating. He's managed to clear that quite quickly through Madrick's corner, turn 1, still drifting the rear out, having fun, and I'm so glad that the sun has decided to come and pay a visit. It will help dry not only the circuit out, but those that are braving it outside earlier in the rain as well.
Quentin McCarthy was having a bit of a slide in his Lotus Climax 18 right behind. I noticed it's a little bit twitchy in the wet, that car, the Lotus 18. Some of these mid-engine cars have got more control, more stability, and I have to say that leading car, the Cooper T53, has got a beautiful balance to it in the wet conditions. You can see he can control it very well. It doesn't snap sideways, whereas many mid-engine cars, particularly from that period, do snap very, very quickly. And it looks to me as though the Lotus 18 is a bit more like that. Obviously, it's also how you set the car up, even in the modern world, on the tyres that you're on, understanding the grip levels you have here at Goodwood. And many of these drivers have done plenty here, particularly Will. He's had lots of success here at Goodwood over the years. He knows the track inside out, as I say, born into a historic racing family team. It's been a part of him all his life, and he's doing a great job once again.
Yeah, he is way clear out front, extending his lead. Of course, Willis has had an off. Here's our battle continuing. I was just about to say that John Spears has not been able to find a way past the number 43, or has he now? He's just clearing some traffic, just trying to have a look through the big puddle, big splash there.
He's got past the number 12, Rudy Fredericks. That was a good move. He's found just the right amount of grip. As you say, as the clock is ticking away, that is an opportunity now for John to have gained another place. I don't think he's going to get back onto the podium because there's just a bit too much space up ahead. But let's see how far he can go.
Yes, I'm just looking for the number 12. Is seeing if the number 43, should I say, wonder if that's he did get past, because that's the next car that he was following. So we'll see if maybe they've had a bit of a dice with some of the lap traffic that they're coming up to as well. But already through now is John Spears, potentially up into 4th place. We'll wait to see as he crosses the line. Oh, sideways, avoid that curve. But all cars are certainly in these wet weather conditions. It just managed to save it, bleeds across the line. Let's see where it's going to pop up to. Yes, so he's managed to get past the 43 as well. Yes, you can see actually in the background the Cooper Climax T43 has dropped a couple of spots down the order, but John Spears is free now. He has got a 5.3 second gap though to try and close down with only well, this is the last lap, so he's not going to be able to do it unless Martins in the Cooper has any incidents.
Well, let's see what happens, whether he can get back into 3rd place. As you say, I think that's going to be a little bit demanding in a short space of time that's left. As the race is coming towards an end. It's been a brilliant performance once again by Will Knuckle here in the number 4 Cooper Climax T53, one of the latest versions of all the cars that we've got out there. This is the sort of 1960 car that was at the end of this period of Formula One, but the way he's done it is beautifully done, and the control has been superb. 13 seconds was his advantage when they came over the line last time. The checkered flag will be coming out, and there we've got Spears, and yeah, he hasn't managed yet to catch Martin. I don't think he's not quite there in terms of getting a podium spot. I think Charlie Martin is going to hold on to that 3rd place. So coming up towards the line there for the Richmond and Gordon Trophies race here at Goodwood in tricky conditions, and the race victory goes to Will Knuckle. Once again, he adds to his list of race victories here at Goodwood in this particular event. Oh, big slide for Andy Willis. He's had a very exciting time throughout this race, on and off the track a few times, a long little error, and he finishes in 2nd place and gets fastest lap, unless somebody does something a bit surprising later on. There is some damage to the front end of the car as well, but it's made it to the end. And Charlie Martin holds on in another Cooper to take 3rd place, and it's John Spears who is going to take 4th in the background in the front-engine Maserati. That was a bit of a shame. There was that little contact between him and Willis, but he's still waving to everybody, and he did a lovely job. Well done for picking up some of those places towards the end. He didn't get the 2nd place that he kept getting yesterday, and he was on target for it until he had the incident with Willis, but that's the way it goes, and it was very, very enjoyable. The mix of front and rear-engined cars from the 1950s.
Yeah.